Hello and welcome to another AGS Success episode of our weekly video blogs. This week we're going to be looking at the importance of getting revision strategies right.
Yeah, so John, obviously we throughout these videos we're kind of giving all the tips about the good things that you should be doing. But do you have any examples of kind of things that people might use that aren't so successful?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that unfortunately we've all probably been brought up thinking like this, either as children ourselves but also the students now, is that just going in and rereading notes makes things stick. And actually all the research that we've been doing at the moment and all the, the research that we've read from around the world says that that's probably the worst way of doing it. And that's unfortunately probably something that's habitually thought of as actually, let's go in and read some notes again and it'll stick. And actually it's completely wasted time a lot of the time, because the reason behind that is that because it's we get a false sense of familiarization, because if we're familiar with notes, we then think we understand it. But actually familiarization and understanding are two very, very different things. And the reason that is because we're only really reading it at a surface level, because we kind of think we've recognized it, we know it from before, or we think we know it from before. So we're not getting under the skin of it, and we're just kind of really skimming it, and we're not really doing anything with it. So it's really important for people to know that.
So you mentioned that that's kind of as we were growing up, and also the students now, that feels like a technique that's really working. So what suggestions would you give to parents for how they can support with this?
Well, something that I'm doing with my son is that whenever he's saying he's going to do some revision or he's going to go in and learn something, my next question straight away is, so tell me how you're going to do that. And I'm actually getting him into the mindset of telling me exactly what technique he's going to use. And when he's just going to say, I'm just going to read some notes again, then I'm saying, well, we might need to do something else than that. So it's really checking that your son or daughter isn't just rereading notes, because actually, like we've said, it's going to give that false sense of familiarization. So if that's what parents can do, what do you think our students can do then?
I mean, I think it's important to recognise that obviously there has to be some absorbing the information. So you will have to read the notes at some point, but to kind of build on that and include some of the retrieval practice that we've talked about being so useful. One thing I would suggest is what we call a sandwich method. So alongside your notes, you might have some questions to go with that. Revision guides are really good for that. They kind of have summary questions at the end of each chapter. I would actually start with those summary questions, take 5 or 6, attempt to answer them. And then what that means is it kind of sets your mind going to know what information you're looking for. So then when you read the information, you're already kind of pre-set up to go and kind of focus on that key information. And then when you've read it, instead of just reading it again and thinking you've become fluent with it, what you do is you put your book to one side and you do those questions again. So you're kind of enacting that retrieval practice that we know does work for long-term learning.
Perfect. Thanks for watching.